Alright, welcome to my little grounded tutorial. I've done this sort of thing through live streams on Twitch, but the videos have tended to be really long, continuous playthroughs of the game, and I don't think it's the easiest way to go through if you're looking for strategies or help. There's plenty of this stuff out there, but I feel like for casual players like myself, if you're not speedrunning, this will be a useful aid if you're struggling with anything, or if you're just curious. Because as difficult as The Last of Us on Grounded is, anybody can make their way through it. It's possible. I can tell you, I'm not a very good shot. I would consider myself at best like an average video game player in terms of what I'm able to do. I have bad wrists. So, yeah, it's very doable for me, so it'll be doable for you. And I just wanted to go through my approach, my current strats, some variations, etc., etc. And yeah, hopefully some people will find this useful, if not interesting. So, we've skipped ahead in the game, and we're in Boston with Tess, and the reason we're here is one of the key things for Grounded, I think more so than any other difficulty, is you want to make Joel as efficient as he can possibly be. So you look right here. This is the first place we get a chance to get parts. So we go ahead and grab those parts, and we can start to move forward. There's a Firefly token in there. I'm not interested in collectibles here, so ignore that. This is all just about the combat, really. So that's an investment in the future. Let's let the dialogue play out here. So,
when's that next shipment due?
Let's let Tess finish rambling on here.
He always shows up with something. Should keep us busy for a while.
So, the game starts you off with 4 9mm bullets. I will not use this gun until the truck push part in Billstown, and I won't use it to kill anyone until after I've met Henry in Pittsburgh. So, while having this gun is useful, and it will matter later on, in terms of grounded playthrough, this thing is an afterthought for a very long time, the way I do it. That being said, we are going to collect as much ammo for it as we can. Because paradoxically enough, even though you receive this so early, it's very helpful later in the game.
Place was clear last time.
Coming
There's
out.
our culprit.
Stay alert.
There we go.
We should be able to fit through here.
You
So I'm
okay?
very keen on upgrades in this game for
falling apart. Be careful.
4 weapons in particular.
This way.
I think they matter the most.
Easy. Watch it. Watch it.
So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to let our poor buddy there suffer, pick up that bullet, and move on. The game does give you a scattering of this kind of ammo throughout, but not to the point where you can use up a shot there. Alright, so this is our first encounter with Infected. There's 3 runners here. All of Boston is essentially a tutorial area for the game. It's intended to be that way, and we're just sort of babied through the mechanics. So, one thing it's introducing to us is stealth, killing that guy. That's what the game wants us to do to start. And then after that, it wants us and Tess to have a wrestle with these lovely chaps. We're supposed to go, oh my god, there's Infected. Oh no. Let's hope Tess handles that other lady. And then we beat up this lady. Alright, and it's not very hard, as you can see. Doing it as intended, it's not hard. There are some alternatives. I'm going to show you the one I usually use. We start off killing this guy, because why not? And then we're going to do this. So the main reason I do this, there's basically 2. The main reason is it's hilarious. But it also is eliminating risk. Even though the odds of these runners doing too much to you is small, this strategy is going to make it impossible for them to do anything. So what's happening now is Tess is having a wee wrestle in there with the other runner. And unlike later on in the game, Tess cannot get a plus sign. So she is in no danger at all, other than making you fall asleep waiting for her. The other weird thing is, the infected, the runners, cannot get out of this trench. They can go through it that way, but they can't come back through it. And what this does is, once Tess comes out of here, she'll automatically shoot them to death in there. It's really bizarre. And the only sort of caveat to it is she can take forever to come out there. Now, sometimes she won't kill the runner, and so you'll have to punch him out when he comes through here. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. What you're essentially doing is just cutting back on risk. There is, however, a much riskier thing you can try. This is not the speedrunner strat. This may not work. I'll give you the basics. Alright, I got slapped. That damage doesn't matter too much, by the way. But it follows the same principle. You just run past the guy. And you want them to follow you out here. And 2 should follow. It's weird that there's only the girl there. Oh, there's another one. There we go. They're both through the trench. Once they're through the trench, it's all gravy. Now we just run back over here. And now I did take a little bit of damage, and I was saying before, one of the reasons to do this strategy is to not take damage. That's why I don't do what I just did there. I do the first iteration of strangle and then run. But as you'll see going ahead, there is health on the way forward, so taking a little bit of damage there doesn't really matter. I'll show you where it is, though. We'll let this play out. Now, could you kill these guys? Absolutely. And while that guy's hanging out at the fence, I'm not entirely sure. But we're on a holding pattern until Tess gets out here. And what tends to happen is, and you can't see it because there's no radar on grounded, is she tends to get stuck on the stairway with him. And they'll just have a long wrestle. Sometimes you can speed things up with your NPC companions by doing attacks. See, you can hear her doing it now. This is a trick I learned very late in my playing of this game, where by throwing punches, it encourages your AI companions to do violence as opposed to just wrestling or hiding. As you can hear, she's being much more aggressive now. So if you're wondering how many shots from Tess to kill them, I believe it's 5. The punch total I'm less certain of. And there she is, so she killed them. And now she's gonna automatically shoot these 2. There we go. You don't have to encourage her, she'll just do it. Inefficiently, but effectively. But yeah, so the way I would normally do it, as I said, is not this iteration. It's the first... Whoa! Whoa! Physics is beautiful. Is the one I showed you before. Strangle and then run out. Because there's nothing for you in there. There's a collectible, but there's nothing useful for you on grounded. So there's not even the health in the kitchen that there is on lower difficulties. So we can move on.
After you.
And we have a little bit of walking to do to get to the slums. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And we'll get to the combat there. Which is honestly, you don't really fight in the slums on grounded. If you're not speedrunning, the slums is basically just a giant stealth section. Which is really funny, because for those who watch or are familiar with speedrunning, it's this violent altercations. Lots of shooting and fighting and whatever, and that's the complete opposite of how you would want to do it playing it casually. It's not really designed for that. That's why for speedrunners it's such a pain in the ass. So, again, why did that one slap not bother me? So the thing I would really worry about with the runners back there is being grabbed. But even on grounded, the game gives you some granola bars, like it leaves them in there in case you got a slap.
Make sure they're in
Now you shouldn't need the health anyway in the upcoming sections.
It's clear.
I should take no damage at all in the slums. And then after the slums, we will get a full heal from the game before downtown. So, yeah.
Shut it.
Yeah, that section should not be hard for anybody. If you're playing grounded, you played the game before. It's not meant to be difficult. Now we just have to wait for little man to give us the all clear here. So I mentioned before upgrading and how important that is. I might be able to show you some of that here. So no, I don't have the HUD for it yet.
The coast is clear. No
For
soldiers,
guns,
none of Robert's men.
we are prioritizing the revolver, the rifle, the bow, and the El Diablo. You will have those fully upgraded by the time you're done playing Grounded, or you should. Those guns are all excellent and useful throughout. In terms of the other upgrades, the stuff you get from pills, the supplements, you will have everything upgraded except Shivmaster, because Shivmaster's a bad one to do, so don't do it. And we will start with weapon sway, then health, then crafting, and then how speedy healing, as in the health kit goes faster. Those are the orders that you're gonna go in. You could. There's an argument to be made to do health first, but I think because you really need weapon sway in Pittsburgh specifically, and the way the pills are laid out, you kind of have to do weapon sway first. That's certainly the way I do it.
Who's that?
An old headache. Don't ask.
And yeah, and on Grounded, you can get 99% of the resources without putting yourself at extreme risk. It's doable. Just have to understand how the game works and sort of follow along what it'll let you do.
You come through here?
Half hour ago. He went back to the wharf. He's there now.
Thanks, buddy. Alright, so we have a couple options here. Now, let's see, what's the best way to do this? If I'm going to show you twice. Okay. Oh, by the way, just a funny thing. There's an invisible line right by that, it's not a chimney stack, but that brick divider there. And until you go past it, these guys do nothing. But once you go past it, the cutscene plays out. So, the AI behavior of these guys changes if you restart encounter. So, the first thing I'm going to show you here is something you can only do the first time around.
Our beef isn't with you. We just want Robert.
And what I'll show you after that, you can do anytime you want. So we have a scripted kill from Tess, one of the very few AI scripted kills that you will get. There's some that you can encourage, but this is one of the few that just happens.
Take cover!
So it's important that as soon as you move, you can move, you move.
I'll cover you.
And you're going to sprint. You either shoot this guy, or what I like to do... Oh, he didn't grab him. Oh, he did. There we go. I got shot. Oh, I died. Okay. So there's the flaw in doing that. So if you shoot the one guy and then punch the other guy, it works better. I've never actually died doing that before, but I'm kind of glad it happened so you can see that's possible. Normally what will happen is I'll grab the dude there, kill him, and then punch that guy, and either get shot once and then punch him, or not get shot at all and punch him. That's the first time I've died. Now, this is designed for you to have easy headshots. As you see, I could have shot that guy. But I want Tess to kill them. So, all I'm doing, the only reason I'm popping up at all is to encourage her to shoot. She shoots less if you do nothing. She tends to take cover more. So again, for Tess, it is 5 shots to kill them. And the only reason we're doing this, it's obviously a long process, is to avoid using ammunition. Now, another alternative of that initial strategy, I could have grabbed him, and then while holding him, shot that guy, and then killed the other one. But again, I don't want to use the bullets. Oh, she got one. Now, Tess killing them does not mean no drops. I'm going to get no drops because I have 5 bullets. So they're not going to drop.
If Robert's good at one thing, it's writing blank.
And that's quite alright. But yeah, that to me, that's the strat I used to always do. The grab strat I kind of just do for fun. You just saw the only time it's ever failed for me. But that's okay. That's the thing about Grounded. Weird little things can get you killed. You don't have a lot of health. Enemies do a lot of damage.
Give her a hand.
And yeah, part of what threw me off is the grab didn't happen immediately, so I didn't think it was going to happen.
There you go.
And he also shot me twice in quick succession. Sometimes he'll back up. What I was expecting for him was to back up and then consider shooting or shooting, and then I would punch him. But he shot immediately, and then as I went for him. Okay, this one. This is slightly different too if you fail as well.
More of Robert's guys.
How do you know?
Although you can do the exact same strat.
Trying to take Tess out.
The only difference is you have to give Tess a bit more time if you fail. So I'll show you how it should go.
We shouldn't have taken this job.
If I can get the restart encounter the way I want.
Let's spread out and make sure no one's creeping around in here.
So that's a scripted kill from her. You sprint right away, stop as you approach, grab this guy. So I'm going to restart encounter now because what I do after doesn't change. So if you restart encounter, you cannot sprint right away. You need to wait for Tess to do that. Now you can sprint. That is literally the only difference. This guy's a little further ahead, but that doesn't matter. We're not going to get spotted here. There we go. Turning your camera away from the guy who might see you helps. Does help. And then the rest of this is going to... Essentially, there is a very specific scripted event that only happens if you do this way.
Let me guess. Fireflies?
So we have to wait for the guy in the hat here to start moving forward. Then we grab him. Oops. And it broke my grab. You grab him, and Tess will auto-shiv this guy, the striped shirt guy. I have no idea why that's arranged that way. It's quite odd. But yeah. So,
Let's search the area.
if you do it right the first time, Tess will be in the process of shivving this guy when you gain control, so you can sprint right away at him. If you need to restart, you have to wait for her to get into the shiv position, and then you can go. And when I said you can't be spotted, you actually can be spotted getting this guy, but he has to be further this way. Like, once he's through the fence, you can be in some trouble, but you should be able to get him before that. And then after that, conversation with these guys, wait for him to start moving forward. You grab him, Tess shivs that guy. And if you've taken any damage, there are 2 granola bars here. And I'm full health. That's one way also to check. What's my health at? So yeah, easy peasy. And Tess is killing 2 guys for you, so that's perfect. Next area. So this area, there's no difference really with restarting encounter. Nothing meaningful, so if you screw it up, just same thing. Did I grab the bottle? I can't access the HUD.
What about Robert?
What the
What's he
hell?
holing up with tonight? Guy's too paranoid to stay here by himself.
Oh, there we go. I don't know what was going on there.
The others and come up with something.
That was weird. You do need the bottle, so... Yeah, we're taking advantage of the way the AI behaves here. And we will not use the gun here at all. It's 4 strangles and a bottle punch. So grab him as soon as he turns away from you, and then you sprint at the pole. Stop about now. The reason you're sprinting is you want to strangle this guy before he gets too deeply into that area. It doesn't matter if he's in it a little bit, but you don't want him in too far, or the guys up top will spot him. Careful sprinting up here. You don't really need to duck here, but I tend to do it once. Grab him. Okay. Go. And now, so the guy in, you can't see him very well. The guy in white there, the closer guy, he's going to walk into this room and turn to face that thing. And we're going to strangle him then. And then we bottle the dude over there. That is our plan. We just have to wait for him. It takes him a minute. He's currently staring off into space. Very exciting for him, I'm sure. Yeah, and he'll always turn the other way, so you don't really have to worry about him as long as you're crouched. Grab him. Now, one thing I want to point out, because it nearly happened in the previous section, if you grab with triangle and then quickly switch to square, which is, you know, kind of what you should do. There we go. Easy peasy. Don't expect them to drop because you have 5 ammo. Look at our shiv. But yeah, if you grab with triangle and quickly switch to square, and they are on an angle,
Yeah, you're right.
it'll sometimes get broken.
Come on.
If that happens, you need to switch up very quickly, or you will accidentally punch, and that'll ruin your stealth kill. So as you can see here, we got our first shiv is in there. Our first health kit is here, and of course throwables are just something we were given. But this, you cannot craft these yet. This is just something you get automatically. But as you can see, we don't even get the ingredients. We got a health kit, but we did not get alcohol and a rag yet. So it's like a magical health kit. I have the ingredients to make another shiv, but I won't do it. There are 3 free shivs on Grounded, and shivs are too important for doors for me to want to use the one for anything else. So we're going to hold on to that. There are 12 shiv doors in the game. We want 11 of them. And the last one is in the Firefly lab. We don't need it. I mean, if we get there and I can open it for you, I will. But yeah, you need 11 shivs. That does involve using the shiv trick, which I'll get to in Billstown. It basically, all it really does, the way I do it, is it gives you 1 extra shiv, and that's all you need to do what you need to do.
Let's go wrap this up.
Alright, this strat. This is an old strat of mine. I love it. It is entirely unnecessary, but it is a lot of fun.
Be smart about this. There's a lot
Pick up the shiv. So you can technically run through this area and leave. You don't have to kill a single solitary person. But there is a level of risk to it. I'm being a bit slow here. What I'm doing here, as far as I'm concerned, is basically risk-free, and you get the enjoyment of strangling a whole bunch of dudes just to show, I don't know, how good you are at stealth. I don't know, I just enjoy doing it. And it's really easy to do. I don't think this guy's ever spotted me, but I don't like taking the chance. So on lower difficulties, there is a free stick here. That is not the case on Grounded. However, the guy in front of me is going to provide me with one. And I will utilize that. I don't need it, really.
on your left.
But it's handy if problems occur. And it's also good for killing the last guy, because he'll often shoot you almost immediately when he sees you, as opposed to like taking a second. So you can sprint here. You have to be pretty careful about it. You gotta stop before he turns around. And the only reason I do that is it's just faster to kill him. That's it. That's the only reason I can actually get away with going over here. It's hard to keep going at him from the side though, because this door pushes you out. So I'm waiting for him to start walking. You want to grab him from this side, and I would suggest staying crouched. Standing, that guy tends to see you even though he shouldn't. Now, again, taking damage here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but
Looks like you
from experience, if you pick up this bottle and you're already carrying a throwable, your throwable will drop through the floor. So don't bother. Okay, so there is another guy, and I want to show this off. You see how simple that was. There is a dude who is going to spawn in right around that post. He does not exist right now. There is no way to snipe him. There is no way to throw a brick at him. Nothing. He doesn't currently exist, but as I go around those boxes, he will appear, and he has a gun. And so, to avoid getting shot by him, there he is. Goodbye. There you go. So, I could go back and get a throwable, but you don't need to. You can pick one up in cargo. So, don't worry about it. But yeah, you can see how simple that is. The AI behaves the same way every time. So if you have to restart, or you just want to practice it, or whatever it is you want to do, you want to play around with it, they're going to function that way until they're alerted. So you can have a good old time with it.
This way.
But yeah, there's really the only meaningful thing you get out of there for further on in the playthrough is the shiv, as far as I'm concerned. Because right after this area, we're going to get a free stick. Along with stuff, so the stick itself isn't important. So we absolutely want this. It's important. And here are, so we've got parts, and let's go over to the side here. We've got a quarter of binding and a quarter of blades. We want that, along with, I think that was 7 parts. You want all the parts. So we're gonna grab that and move on.
You're here. I know a way around this.
There's not a lot
Come on.
going on here before cargo itself. We're going to pick up some parts, but it's mostly walking. Nothing you can screw up. With cargo, I think I'll do it a couple times just to show you. There we go. Up we go. I should note too, the cargo strategy that I do means you cannot get optional conversations with Marlene there. Keep that in mind. If you want optional conversations, you are going to have to fight some of the soldiers there.
What's left of them? What do you think?
So apparently not looking at the door and not looking at Marlene makes her go faster. So I have been told. I'm not specifically in a hurry, but if that's a thing you're worried about, there you go. The prompt for this thing you can hit from really far away, but then Joel does a slow walk up to it. No, not the end of the world, but
Joel,
just
give me a hand
worth
with
noting.
this.
Alright. And you just have to tap here. You don't actually have to hold the joystick. That goes for all the times Joel is like... Unless you're pushing something, you don't have to keep holding it.
Hey, are you old enough? I'll live.
Okay, so the strategy here is to take advantage of a scripted Marlene kill.
Soldiers.
I'll show you what that looks like,
That's
and then I'll show you
under the bridge.
that it only works
Big fan of
one
these odds.
way.
We can sneak by them.
Just like
I know
that second test shiv
We'll see how it
that
goes.
only works if you do it the way I showed. Marlene's scripted kill here only happens one way, so I'll show you the way it happens.
We need to get to the door.
Got to be a little bit careful when you're sprinting up. Stay on the left and stop about halfway, or they will hear you. So to get Marlene's scripted kill, we have to go on this side and grab him. And look, there she is. I will show you what happens if you do the other side. And you can restart and counter this like a million times. It doesn't matter. The area acts the same way. Okay. And look, Marlene doesn't do jack shit. So it's only that side.
We need to get to the door.
Why that is, I have no idea. I don't know if it's a programming thing or what, but that is the only way to get her to be helpful. And that's the only useful thing Marlene does for you in the limited amount of time you're with her. I mean, I guess it's the only fight you have where she's around too, but... There you go. Now, on lower difficulties, if you keep restarting encounter, enemies will start dropping more stuff, and the game will try to help you out. Grounded is not like that at all. Okay. Fortunately, these guys act the same way all the time. Let's grab little dude here. There's nothing to find here. That was throwables, which is nice, but... And the guy over there gets teleported up there. No matter what. Because if you remember, you saw him way down there. But he's teleported up here into that position when you come through here. You actually can shoot him from way down there, but I don't advise it. So this guy, you can strangle this dude right about now. So if you stealth kill through here, that's why you don't get the dialogue. You would have to go loud now if you wanted the dialogue over there. But I don't, so go over. You could melee kill this guy too, as in throw a brick or a ball at him and hit him with the stick, but I don't want to do that. Alright, so personal preference. This guy can shoot you. But you get all this health back, so it doesn't really matter. But if you don't want to get shot there, go ahead and brick and stick him.
Where are we going, Marlene?
I'm just saving a hit on the stick.
This way. It's not
As
far now.
I try to get Joel to duck here. Alright, so I'm going to stop there. There's a bunch of walking and stuff, and we will make our way to downtown where stuff actually happens.